Hello, Lost Woods Draft League players and viewers. Welcome to week 7 of Lost Woods Draft League Season 2. I'm Jack of Spadesman Jay, coach of the Boston Black Jacks. Uh, Looking at the standings right now, real quick, before I get into the week prep. I'm pretty locked up for playoffs. I obviously still want to keep winning, secure myself a higher seed. Um, But yeah, given that the worst I can do is 5-3, and second place currently is 4-3, like I'm pretty locked in. That aside, the matchup this week is one that actually against Ronald this week, Oxygen. Um, and this is a team that I have rated lower on the tier list. But that's not to say it is bad by any means, and it certainly actually gives me a bit of trouble for numerous reasons. So, first off, I'll mention is Regieleki. Regieleki is a Pokemon that I have nothing that can outspeed it, right? Um, and even at +1, I don't have anything that can outspeed it. Um, at +2, I can outspeed it, but even then, some Pokemon can't. Like, the only things that can get to +2 are, like, Agility Mons, which Raikou might get, but wouldn't be great with it. Zoroark might get. Um, Volcarona doesn't get, like. And then anything below that can't outspeed Regieleki. Um, Next is the Landorus Therian. Uh, Mostly if it's Terra Flying, with Terra Blast would give me quite a bit of trouble. I have two resists um, in for flying in Raikou and Metagross, but both are weak to ground. But that's the nature of flying and ground coverage. Um, Next is Clear Smog Magmar, Haze Toxapex, Unaware Dondozo, Encore Disable, Screamtail. There's a lot on this team that actually makes me struggle with my setup, which is like my main mode, right? Every week you've seen me set something up and go to town with it. Um, this team's not going to allow me to do that. Again, Regieleki also disables that quite a bit just by like launching Electrowebs at me, or Thunder Waves or what have you. I can't set up really defensively because Meowscarada has Flower Trick. Like there's a lot getting in my way here. Um, so with that said, I went with a much different route than I usually do in team building, and it's one I'm a decent bit proud of. It made me had to really rethink how to play this team. So I'll just get right into it. Uh, the first thing you're going to see when I go to this is my Metagross set, but I'm going to go down to actually one of the first Pokemon I thought of on this team, which is Volcarona, which this week is a Tailwind set. I haven't ran Tailwind support. I haven't run Volcarona with support yet all season, and I think it's going to be a huge, huge thing here. Um, so Tailwind, Rage Powder, Heat Wave, Will-O-Wisp. Um, Primarily, Ronald's team is physical, barring a few certain threats. Um, but Will-O-Wisp is going to help that. Rage Powder with Flame Body is going to help that. And Tailwind will allow me to outspeed everything not named Regieleki, and even with some Pokemon, things named Regieleki. Um, yeah. Next, I will go to the Metagross. So usually I run Assault Vest, or I've run Life Orb in the past. I actually finally wanted to whip out this set, which is Weakness Policy, Heavy Slam, Psychic Fangs, Bullet Punch, and Protect. And what to self-proc? None other than Bulldoze Rillaboom. So with Grassy Surge, Bulldoze's damage is reduced, which good and bad, right? Does less damage to Metagross, but also does less damage to the opposing team. But the healing is what's worth it, and yeah, I tossed a Clear Amulet on Rillaboom for two reasons. One is Landorus Intimidate. Two is Regieleki Electroweb. I don't want Rillaboom to be slower than Metagross for obvious reasons. I'm just going to make sure. Yeah. If I were to get slowed, it wouldn't be good. So, I wanted to keep from being slowed, be able to bulldoze my own Metagross, and from there, I should be able to get, like, every KO. Clear Smog Magmar shouldn't be a problem, and neither should Haze Toxapex, because it one-hit KOs both of them, I'm pretty sure. I went with Terra Fire on Metagross for 2 reasons. One, I don't want to get burned by Magmar, because that will ruin everything, and it allows me to still be weak to ground, which allows me to still bulldoze it. So I can't get Will-O-Wisp, I can't get Flame-Bodied, all while still being able to take the weakness policy. Next is Incineroar, very basic set. I went with Knockoff and Taunt this week. Flare Blitz looked decent, mainly for Meowscarada, and just neutral damage to a lot of things. But I figured Taunt was especially helpful for shutting down Follow Me on Magmar, maybe like Yawn on Dondozo, anything Screamtail wants to do. I know Ronald has liked Iron Defense on Glastrier, so I can stop that. I can stop a lot of shenanigans with Taunt. Pretty standard set. Volcarona I already went over. Covert Cloak is the same reason as Rillaboom. I don't want to be Electro-webbed, but Rillaboom Clear Amulet helps it from Intimidate, while Volcarona doesn't need that, and I don't think anything gets Fake Out on this team. But yeah, I think Covert Cloak just works better for that. Yeah, nothing gets Fake Out on this team. Next is Raikou, with a Bolt Beam set, essentially, with Thunderbolt, Terra Ice, Terra Blast, because everything on the team will explode to that, pretty much. Yeah. And then I was going back and forth on what move I could run here. I was, like, with Scald or Snarl, but Volt Switch actually lets me get a bit of momentum, and, like, check for Terras, get in Intimidates, set Terrain, just get better matchups all around. And then last is Vaporeon with Scald, Yawn, Icy Wind, Protect, and Leftovers. Scald, just consistent damage and Fish for Burns. Icy Wind, as I kind of said with Volcarona, Speed Control is going to be the name of this game, and I need to get that off. It also lets me test for certain items like Clear Amulet or Covert Cloak, just by throwing that out. And then Yawn was just kind of a slot that I needed to fill. I considered Yawn, wow, I'm running Yawn. Yawn will be good. I considered Wish. I considered Aqua Ring because of Leftovers and Grassy Terrain to get 3/16 per turn. I considered a few moves, but ultimately I think Yawn is going to be the best. Yeah. Terras that I didn't go over. Water on Rillaboom, because I don't want to take flying damage, and I also don't want to take fire damage. Should make some sense. Incineroar, Grass. Yeah, ground damage, water damage, should be self-explanatory. A lot of these also, because they resist Regieleki, I did consider Bug for a few of these, to not be weak to, like, Poison. That didn't make sense. Like, Fighting's not really a big deal, even though it could be on Horsey for Body Press. Volcarona Steel, that is for, Terraflying Terra Blast. Raikou Ice is an offensive, and Vaporeon, I was considering something else because Water Absorb lets you kind of get away with a different Terra, but Terra Ground wasn't going to work because of Meowscarada, and Terra Grass lets me take Regieleki hits better, while also, you know, being immune to water. Otherwise, I could have gone, like, I don't know, Bug or something. But, yeah. Main threats are really going to be Terra Flying, Terra Blast, Landorus is one thing I expect to come heavily. I expect a Disruptive Screamtail. Regieleki is almost definitely going to come, and I kind of expect it to be Focus Sash. If Meowscarada is not Focus Sash, I strongly expect Magmar. And then I don't expect Glastrier. I expect Screamtail, Landorus, Meowscarada, Regieleki, and then like two of Dondozo, Latios, Magmar, Toxapex. And I expect one. Okay, Dondozo, Latios, and then Magmar or Toxapex. If it's Toxapex, it's Haze. If it's Magmar, it's Clear Smog. Um, like Dondozo is going to be unaware. But yeah, that's it. Um, for Calcs, I actually went a little crazy with these ones this week. Rillaboom is actually jolly to possibly catch off guard Landorus Therian. And then I gave it enough attack such that if it's not bulky at all, Drum Beating will be able to always get the 2-hit KO on it, and outspeed the Adamant Landorus. 143 is its speed stat. And that'll give me an idea of, how hard it's going to hit if I don't outspeed it. Incineroar versus, Stomping Tantrum isn't going to one-hit KO my Incineroar thanks to the Citrus Berry. And if he runs Choice, Specs, Modest, Latios, Draco Meteor will not KO me. So that's where that lands. For speed stat, 180. That's going to be able to outspeed max speed Screamtail if the booster energy isn't active. Same with Latios. Volcarona is outspeeding, I think, as well, Screamtail if it is max speed but not a boosting nature. Same with Latios, and that'll give me an idea of where they stand. Originally, I was going faster than Magmar, but I found that the points in bulk didn't help at all. And I just went max HP because it works with the grassy terrain number. It worked well with some special calcs, and I really didn't find the bulk necessary. Metagross is 98 speed, so at +2 or in Tailwind, that will outspeed Meowscarada, which is the only thing I can get it to outspeed. And you might say, oh, well, 97 does that. Well, Vaporeon's 97, and I figure that if I can get a KO with Metagross and then either move my Scald target, get single target Icy Wind, or move my Yawn target, that will benefit. Metagross being faster is more beneficial than Vaporeon being faster. It also doesn't give away how fast my Vaporeon is, because Metagross naturally outspeeds it. And then I think Metagross versus Meowscarada. Yeah, pretend it's not Focus Sash. If it's for defense for whatever reason, 244 lets me pick up the one-hit KO. Then the rest to HP. Vaporeon, I already mentioned its speed stat. But what really matters to me, especially... Did I just, pump this full of defense? No, this special defense is something. It's something. Is it the same Latios Choice Specs calc? I think it is. Yes. No. Is it Regieleki? Yes. Modest. Regieleki's Thunderbolt. Does not one-hit KO Vaporeon, which is very big. If it's Adamant Wild Charge, then we might be in some trouble. No, actually, because my defense stat is higher. So if it's Wild Charge, Adamant, yeah, that won't be a KO either. So that's really nice. We're learning together, folks. And then Raikou is literally just a Life Orb HP number ending with a 9. 180 speed is that Screamtail number, and then maxed out special attack. I didn't bother looking at its bulk because this Pokemon's one of those Pokemon that I just need to clean up once things are out of the way. Because it's pretty much like one-shotting everything that's being shipped, or like Landorus. Obviously, if it's Terra, no Terra, it's gonna KO. But even if it's like Terra flying and Terras and isn't Assault Vest, it's gonna pick up that way one-hit KO even on bulky Landorus. Not on bulky Landorus. It'll pick up the KO. So it's kind of like a Terra Call. It's gonna do a lot for me. If it's Scarf, I mean, I don't know. I can just kind of Volcarona it. I'm gonna have to play around and figure out these speeds quite a bit. So this one's a bit tricky, and I'm excited to play it. I'm an hour and 45 minutes out from the match. I'm feeling good. We'll see how it goes. Peace.